What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick Ginn here.
And in today's video, we're going to go over the 20 rules of wholesaling real estate, life lessons, and just really important stuff as you begin in real estate wholesaling. And even if you're an experienced professional wholesaling, you should know before you get into wholesaling or just right now for success. So are you pumped up, ready to go?
I'm excited. Let's jump into it.
Before we get into the video, guys, please smash that like button and subscribe to get the most free value from us. And let's get into it. In no particular order, let's bring it down. So rule number one is you don't need to know everything about wholesaling real estate to get rich and have success in wholesaling real estate.
Yeah, I agree. It's if you sit around and wait till you learn everything, I promise you years will go by. And a lot of us were brought up in school to absolutely learn everything, be tested on it, and then go into the workforce. And I'm telling you, in wholesaling, it's the exact opposite. You get the fundamentals down, the mechanics, and you go out. And the best way to learn is to just dive in and start talking to sellers. It's the fastest way to sharpen your learning curve.
Number two here is your confidence talking to motivated sellers will be directly correlated to how many deals you can close with motivated sellers and really how rich you're going to get in wholesaling real estate.
I mean, confidence is everything. So the biggest question I think we always get is, Zach and Rick, how do I get confidence if I haven't done a deal yet? I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to act confident. So if you've never done a deal before, the easiest way to start acting confident is just practice.
Yeah.
So however, on your acquisitions training, when you go through and you sit down and you build rapport and you're asking your qualified questions, grab your spouse, your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, and just practice. And watch how much you mess it up. You'll get uncomfortable. You'll start to lose some confidence, and you'll gain confidence by getting through that practice. And I'm telling you, I'm not telling you to do it hundreds of times. I'm telling you to do it thousands of times, because that confidence has to correlate to when you actually meet with sellers. And the last thing you want to do is practice on real, live, qualified sellers. Do you agree?
I 100% agree. I'm telling you, the more confident you are, it'll correlate very closely to how many deals you're getting sold, right?
Yes. So you just got to bridge that gap. The easiest way to bridge that gap is practice, practice, practice. You've got to be the LeBron James on just going on that empty court and practicing. So do family, friends, whoever will lend an ear on you, or worst case scenario, take old leads or get somebody's throwaway leads and just start cold calling them and start qualifying them. It's probably the best way to do it in that order.
Exactly. Number three here is your ego will kill your growth in wholesaling real estate.
That's probably my number one. Your ego is nothing more than your subconscious mind trying to prove you right, no matter what the argument, the conditions, or anything. So when you find yourself talking too much or bragging or just like really trying to be the center of attention, it's your ego. And if you just remember this, okay, your ego just sneaks up on you sometimes because it's part of you. So when you find yourself talking too much, bragging too much, trying to be the center of attention, understanding it's your ego, and your ego will steal the spotlight, but I promise you it will kill your real estate wholesaling business. So putting your ego aside allows you to communicate with your seller, listen a lot more, gain information for you to make offers that make sense, and it is the best way to get deals, in my opinion. And you've got to kill your ego one way or the other. And you know what? It's not just real estate. That's life in general. Your ego is just too much, and you got to put it away to truly be successful in wholesaling.
I agree. I mean, it comes when hiring people, talking to sellers, it all comes in. Guys, be humble. Get your ego out of it. Guys, you are not as good as you think half the time. And guys, keep an open mind. You'll have success.
Absolutely.
Number four here. This is very cliche, but it's very true. It's your network is your net worth. I truly believe having a network of people in wholesaling real estate, JV partners, realtors, title companies, guys, having the right network will help you just build your net worth and just the amount of money you're making every year, right?
I agree. You guys are like, okay, what really is your network? Listen, your network's not, it's not the old saying, you know, the 5 people you're around has declares your income, although it does to a point. We're talking about people in the business that can help you out. And in return, you can help them out. So start with your title company. If you have a really good relationship with your title company, you could take down deals that normally would fall apart on most people. Every now and then we're doing assignments, a realtor show up, or the cash buyer's having a meltdown, or the seller's having a meltdown. If you have that relationship set up in your network with the title company, you can get through that moment. Also on your cash buyers list, if you go deeper with your cash buyers list, meaning your quality is better than your quantity, if a buyer backs out, you can still survive. And it goes on and on. If I work with another wholesaler and we kind of share a list, although that's far and few between, it gives you much more ability to transact on a heck of a lot more houses. And this goes for your realtors, title companies, probate lawyers, cash buyers, wholesalers. Who am I missing here? Contractors, plumbers, electricians. Guys, the more people, bird dogs, anybody that can help you point to a deal, and they remember the people that take care of them, and treat everyone like their family, and you should do it in return. And get rid of the ones that are leeches and aren't helping you out with your business.
I agree 100% there. Number 5 here is never stop marketing.
Yeah, I mean, that's
right.
Yeah, so I look at marketing, I do the analogy, it's like the blood running through your veins. It's the only way your heart is going to pump back and reoxygenate your blood. The minute you cut off that marketing, deals will definitely stop. Closings will stop. Cashing checks will stop. And then what happens is you've got to restart the engine.
Yeah.
And if you've ever taken the blood out of something, or like the oil in an engine, you've got to reboot it, and it takes time. So most of you that do, you're a one-man or one-woman army, and this was me, guys, for a long time. I would market like crazy. I would take calls. I'd go on appointments. I'd lock up contracts. I would start disposition on properties, start trying to sell them. And I spent all this time. And I get a couple big deals. I made a ton of money. Yeah. I'm all excited. I got these big plans. And then I realize I just let 2 months go by and I stopped marketing. So now I'm going to have at least a 90-day pay gap. And if you guys can understand, if you stop marketing, although it feels effective at the time, you're absolutely killing your business. So the easiest way to counter that is come up with a marketing plan and hold yourself to it. And if not, give it to your spouse, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, and make them throw that marketing plan in your face every month, or have it pop up on a calendar. You've got to get the mail out. You've got to get the list out. You got to get the cold call. You got to get the text out, and consistently every week at the latest. Daily is perfect, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. This brings us back to number 6 here, which very important lesson I think everyone needs to know about rules for wholesaling real estate. It's just wholesaling real estate's a long game. It's not a short game. This isn't something that you should be expecting to be for 6 months in and out, make $100K, leave, to go back to your regular job. Wholesaling is a long-term game. You have to think very long-term about it. And if you have your goals in the long term, you'll have so much more success, right?
Yeah, like 20 years?
Yeah, long. I'm talking like, in 5-10 year increment. Like, you have to think long-term with your stuff. You know what? Why am I gaining these wholesaling skills now? Is this something for 6 months? Guys, if you're just in it for the money in wholesaling, not for what the money does for you, you're not going to do well. And it's just having a long-term mindset versus a short-term one.
So the really cool thing about wholesaling is it will teach you on how to truly leverage financial freedom. Once you can master that basic skill set, which means if you can bring in $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month, and you live a modest lifestyle, and you can do that for a year, it just starts to really open up. Yeah. Like, okay, now I'll be the first one to tell you, wholesaling is work. It's not passive, it's work. But I will tell you, it's some of the highest paid work you will ever do. So what happens it opens you up to just a sea of opportunity. Because remember, wholesaling is just one technique. It is a quick one, a quick way to generate wealth, freedom. And the key with wholesaling is it minimizes your risk. Yeah. Once you get past that and you get cash, then you have this great problem is, what do I do with this cash? And the answer to it is you have to learn to buy assets that will pay you for the rest of your life. And once you can start accumulating those assets, you'd be surprised in a short 2, 3, 4 years, you can build an amazing portfolio of passive income. It could be a rental portfolio. It could be maybe you get into apartments. You can do traditional fix and flips. You know, if you want to go that way, I don't really recommend that one, but you have options to do whatever you want. Yeah. And then what you can do is you get really good is you can reach out to other wholesalers and you can buy deals from them. Yeah. And then you can really leverage your time. But it just opens up a sea of opportunity. And I find once you learn it through wholesaling, the sky's the limit where you want to go from there.
Definitely. And really, the long term, you'll have such more success with it. This brings us back to number 7 here, which is super important. The money is in the follow-up. Follow-ups are everything in wholesaling real estate, right?
Yeah, I mean, a follow-up really is matching up timing to a marketing piece. So many of our sellers are like, Rick, Zach, we love your message. We love what you stand for. I really want to sell you my house. I'm just not ready yet. It's January now. We're probably thinking like summertime. So you got a choice. You can either throw the lead away or you can use your CRM and you set up a follow-up. Now, I'm not going to wait 6 months to call them.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to reach out to them in 30 days and I'm going to find a reason to call them and I'm just going to keep building that rapport. And I don't want to wait till 6 months. They've lost my number and they're like, where's that Rick and Zach guy? What happened to him? I don't know. Just call one of these other postcards or call the other people. That's it. Now, guys, if I can pick up an extra 4 or 5 deals a year just in follow-up, it's well worth it. The reality is in wholesaling, most people are not ready to sell the minute you contact them, but a majority of them you'll get in the follow-ups. And my numbers show at least 70% of the deals are picked up in the follow-up. So if 70% of your business is in the follow-up, you've got to make sure you have a system to do the follow-ups.
Oh yeah, make it happen. Number 8 here is when you're in doubt on the price of a home or when you're at the house and you have major doubts on the ARV or maybe the repairs, lowball.
Yeah. So you guys always hear me use the terminology go for no. So here's a quick little rule and tip for you. Whatever you're thinking in your head to spit out, knock off 30%. It will fix your problem. Why? Because I'd rather you have that uncomfortable feeling up front and those butterflies in your stomach for going for a go for no, which you're okay if you get a no, because most likely you're going to get the bottom line number when it comes out and you can fish it out. As opposed to the other way is you just offer them, say you want to offer 100 grand. So you offer 100 grand and the lady reaches out and shakes your hand. You're like, wow, that was easy. And then you get 30 no's from your cash buyer said, Rick, you paid too much for it. So guys, whatever number you're thinking, just knock off 30%. It's a good rounding number. And you want to feel uncomfortable and awkward when you do it. And you need to buy these properties for the right price so you can turn around and easily sell it to your cash buyers.
Number 9 here is cold calling will always work. What I mean by this rule is if you are having a struggle or a problem with your marketing, remember back to the basics. In most markets, in 95% of your markets, cold calling will always be the one that will probably give you the best results. And obviously there's sometimes better marketing for your time, but if you just in a random market, you don't know what marketing channel to do, cold calling will always be the priority for a gauge of success.
Definitely the fastest way, in my opinion.
Number 10 here, never stop building your cash buyers list.
We talked about timing is everything. On your seller side, on your buyer side, it's the exact same thing. In my opinion, every 90 days, most of your cash buyer list washes out.
Yeah.
New buyers come in, timing changes, and that's why it's important to constantly update your cash buyers list.
Rule number 11, government lists will never fail.
These are lists that are going to be produced by your local county courthouses, and it's anyone that has a legal action against them on the property, if it's taxes, if it's code violations,
water shutoffs,
probates, foreclosure, divorce, eviction, and it's transparent because we all have access to the same information.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you right now, if you're having a struggling issue with some of your lists, I can tell you right now, government lists will not fail you. Drawing for dollars quick bonus will never fail you also on this one, but I'm telling you, government lists, when in doubt, do a government list. Hopefully probates. It'll help you out so much.
And that process hasn't changed over the last 50 years, by the way.
Number 12 here is speed must be a priority for success in wholesaling.
Speed is everything. Speed kills. What I mean by speed is the more organized you are in getting that straight line direction to getting a contract with the least amount of resistance will equate to you getting deals, which is your conversion rate.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's speed. It's how fast you're going to go in there on the appointment, how fast you're going to get the deal done. You got competition. Who's going to win, especially on these deals where someone's just ready to stand on the dotted line? It's how fast you are in getting that seller. Number 13 here is empathy and rapport will beat any sick, awesome Wolf of Wall Street type closing line from an acquisitions closing guru course. I'm telling you, empathy and rapport, that's how you close deals.
Yeah. So the secret of building awesome rapport, which is the one tool technique that is going to help you with your conversion, is just be yourself, be authentic, be comfortable in your own skin, and a natural conversation will follow.
Number 14 here, I can tell you this right now, be a man or woman of your word. It doesn't matter at all if this is with just a JV partner, a realtor, other wholesaler, even your motivated seller. Be a man or a woman of your word. I'm telling you, it will go a long way and it will give you so much more success than not.
Yeah. So your word is the only thing that makes you do what you're going to do. You can put anything in writing, but when it comes down to your word, if you're going to hold your sellers to their word and their contract, the least you can do is do your word. And I promise you, it'll pay you back tenfold.
Wait, number 15, smile more. I can tell you right now, if you start smiling more on the phone, talking to sellers, in life in general, even when you're trying to close deals, talk to title companies, your mood will be better and you'll just have better success. You'll radiate better energy, which will cause you to make more money. I promise you.
I agree.
Number 16, always do the right thing. Even if that means you're going to make less money, having ethics and actually helping sellers with their problems will be the absolute best thing you can do in wholesaling.
100%. So I've had so many situations over the 20 plus years, as far as sometimes it's not always about making money. Sometimes you just got to help people out. Sometimes you have family members with special needs. Sometimes you just got to put another party together with them just to get them to help sell their house and just move on with your life and just write it off to goodwill.
There's so many instances where you got to give a seller a little more money because they're not going to get any equity out of a deal, and you're making all this equity. You guys doing that, first of all, it'll help you go to the closing table a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
You'll make so much money. I promise you right now, it will come back to you tenfold. And this brings me back to Rule 17, which is the more you give in life, the more you'll receive in life. I found this has been the number one thing in my wholesaling business. It's not about giving money away to charity, but the more value you give to your customers, your clients, your motivated sellers, the more value you give to your JV partners or realtors, you will get so much more back, and especially money.
Yeah. So if it's spending more time with them, helping a newbie, get like their first few deals on it, look at it from like, how can I help, not as what I can take. And if you help that person become successful, they will more than likely come back to you when they got like a really big deal, and you'll get paid tenfold. And as far as like giving away to people, it's up to you guys to give back. Don't depend on other people to do it. You've got to be the inspiration for change.
Rule number 18, 2 simple words, one life. Guys, you have one life to live. What are you going to do with that life? Think about that before you wake up in the morning, and especially if you're getting real estate wholesaling. Ask yourself why you're doing something. Remember how short life is, and it is your duty to go out there and live the life of your dreams. And wholesaling real estate gives you that tool for financial freedom to live the life of your dreams.
So think about it. I always tell you guys, you got to find your why. If you're truly getting into wholesaling and this is what you want to do, and you've defined your why, and if you're like me, I promise you, financial freedom's on there and freedom of your time to do what you want, when you want, and really enjoy life. How great is it if you can take a month off to go spend time with family, travel, do whatever you want? Guys, it's not always how much you make. It's do you have control of everything? And the beauty of wholesaling is you never actually have to retire.
I love it. Rule 19 is basically like a Tony Robbins quote. I think it's a rule we had to put in here for the rules of wholesaling real estate. And it's, you will achieve so much more in the long term in your goals than you could have ever imagined. And on the short term, you're probably going to be short of your goals. What I mean by this is your short-term goals for wholesaling, you're probably not going to meet them. I want to get 5 deals per month in the next 2 months from going to zero. You got very lofty goals in the short term. Then you're like, well, in the future, in the next 10 years, if I could only make $200,000 per year in wholesaling, I'll be set for life. You'll be more shocked. This is a great Tony Robbins quote, and it's been everything for my wholesaling business and ours is like our short-term goals, we might not hit them, but I mean, because we always go a little far, push the pace, but long-term, I don't think we're even close to where we even expect, especially as beginners, right?
Yeah. So what most people do, and the Tony Robbins phrase you're referring to, is we overestimate what we can do in the short term and way underestimate what we can do in the long term. And that's just human nature. We get so aggressive and so focused on a 30 or 90-day program, and then you set like these 5 and 10-year goals, and you wind up blowing away by like 100 times, although you failed on your 30 days.
Yeah.
And that's what causes a lot of people to quit. They don't have the commitment to the vision and stuff. You're in it for the long haul. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. You've got to race a marathon. If you're going to sprint out the door and not like catch a breath, you're going to run out of gas.
Yeah.
So that's how I would treat it. You'd be amazed what you can do in the long run.
It's crazy. Guys, before we get to number 20, here, the last one, we have 2 quick bonuses for you. Wholesaling real estate is more about the man or woman you become through it all at the end of the journey than the money at all.
Hands down, I can tell you when I started wholesaling, fast forward to almost 20 years, it's like night and day. My health, my fitnesses, my finance, my family, the family business, I could have never envisioned the stuff that was going to happen. I just knew I wanted to get into wholesaling because I wanted financial freedom. I want more freedom for my family. And in 20 years, I've had so many doors open. I could have never believed I could live this lifestyle. And there's no reason anybody watching this can't do the exact same. Do you agree?
I agree. Next bonus here is scaling your real estate wholesaling business is about doing less work than more work, especially for the operator.
Yes. So I think a lot of people miss the boat on scaling. So once you understand the mechanics of real estate wholesaling, is you have the ability to bring people in either physically in your area, you can do it virtually, you can use a virtual assistant, and then they can start doing things like handling phones for you, booking appointments, helping you coordinate closings, handle project management, all the stuff. And honestly, if I'm a one-man army, my sole focus is always going to be on marketing and acquisition skills. And anything else I can outsource for a $7 to $9 an hour type of work, then that's the best way. Because if I spend an hour and a half with someone and I make $30,000, I got plenty of money to pay people. And at the most you're spending is $800, like $1,000 to do the work that you really don't want to do. So scaling is all about making your business manageable, not to drive you absolutely nuts.
That's it. The point of scaling, you're working 60 hours a week. You want to be at the point where you're working 10 hours a week and making 10 times more money.
Exactly. Because that will give you the freedom you deserve.
Rule number 20, stay humble. The toys and materialism will not last you more than 5 years, but the money, the investments and cash flow you produce in the next 5 to 10 years will.
I agree. So I haven't always lived by this mantra when I first started out, but once you understand you come in this world with nothing and you leave with nothing, the idea is anything you purchase, you need to look at disposable income as things of assets you can buy that will pay you to provide you the income that will eventually give you the financial freedom and the flexible freedom to do what you want with your time. And so you have got to budget on what you're going to spend your money on, and you need to buy things that pay you. So if you have to pay it, it's a liability. If you buy something and you get cash flow back from it and you believe in it, then that's an asset you want to buy. The more assets you can collect, you'd be surprised in a 3 to 5 year period, you can basically have a steady flow of income. And not only income, it's growing.
Yeah.
So that's the secret to life, really, is once you get in this game, you get that money. The idea is churn that cash into more cash so it continues to work for you.
That's it. Thanks, guys. That is the 20 rules for wholesaling real estate success. Thank you so much for watching this video. Any parting thoughts for these rules?
You know what? Just pick 5 of the rules and jump on them like right away, and then keep adapting the rules. that you can take down. It only takes about 21 days to really get in the habit of the rules. Start with number 1 and work your way all the way to 20.
Boom. That's it, guys. Appreciate it. Like this video and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Thanks.
See you guys. Thanks.